At 16, I risked my life to save her, and we became each other's only support. She wanted to continue her education, so I worked tirelessly to support her. She said she was tired of living without a stable home, so I worked nonstop for 10 years. On my 26th birthday, I presented her with the property deed and an engagement ring, ready to surprise her. "Ryan, let's break up." At the dinner table, she was meticulously applying her makeup, her eyes filled with the resolve of someone who had thought this through. I held the ring I hadn't taken out yet, my mind going blank. Seeing my silence, she impatiently urged me, "I've joined a Fortune 500 company, while you're just a delivery guy who didn't even finish high school. We're no longer from the same world." But she forgot that I didn't go to high school because I had to work to support her. 10 years ago, I was stabbed 3 times by human traffickers trying to save her, leaving me with a lifelong illness. Now that her life is finally improving, she's eager to abandon me. The table was filled with her favorite dishes, but they were about to go cold before she even touched them. Amelia had already packed her bags, walked up to me in her 4-digit dollar heels, and looked down at me with a slight tilt of her head. "I remember everything you've done for me, but the gap between us will only grow wider in the future. So breaking up is for the best for both of us. Better to cut the pain short than let it linger." I looked up in a daze. Amelia was no longer the clear-eyed girl she once was. She was wearing an unconventional Western-style makeup, a sexy, expensive skirt, and a pair of high heels that cost as much as 3 months of my salary. These were all gifts she asked for after landing a job at a prestigious company. But I, who had paved the way for her, no longer had the qualifications to walk beside her. "All right, let's break up." My heart ached so much it felt like I couldn't breathe. But a heart that couldn't be held onto after 10 years of deep affection had no other choice but to let go. "It's too late tonight. There's no rush to move out. I'll take you tomorrow." I instinctively worried about her safety, but she tensed up and covered her chest. "Ryan, can't you just stop this? We've broken up. Let's cut ties cleanly. I'm not the kind of person who can just have a casual fling with an ex." I choked on my words for a few seconds, unable to speak. I hurriedly started cleaning up the dishes and tidying the house, trying to keep myself busy to avoid breaking down. Amelia refused to stay and ran to the bathroom to call a colleague to pick her up. Soon, there was a knock on the door. It was Amelia's package. Seeing the brand-new leather shoes, the tears I'd been holding back finally broke free. I thought back to the poorest times we'd been through, to earn money for Amelia's tuition and living expenses. Even in the coldest winter, I couldn't bring myself to buy warm shoes. I worked 3 jobs a day, and my feet, covered in frostbite, were raw and bleeding. Every time she applied medicine to my feet, Amelia would cry, saying that once she started working, she'd buy me the best shoes. I've remembered those words for years. Although I had to wait until the day we broke up to receive them, at least it showed that Amelia still remembered my birthday, still cared about me, and wanted to give me a humble token for the past 10 years of my sacrifices. I hurriedly took off my faded old shoes and tried to put them on, but they were 2 sizes too small and wouldn't fit no matter how I tried. Just as I was standing there in shock, Amelia came out after finishing her call. "What are you doing? These shoes cost over $8,000. What are you doing wearing them? You've dirtied them. How am I supposed to give them away now?" She rushed over, pushed me aside, snatched the shoes from my hands and began wiping them clean. After a long moment, she finally looked up at me and noticed my body trembling uncontrollably. She hid the blame in her eyes, revealing a belated sense of guilt and panic. "I was planning to buy you a pair too, but I just got paid and didn't have enough money. If you like them, you can have them. I'll give you the customer service contact information, and you can exchange them for a larger size." Hearing the tone of reluctance and pity in her voice, I couldn't control myself anymore. My soul felt cold, but my blood seemed to boil. "Amelia, for the past 10 years I've given you everything. Now, even a gift has to come after another man. Amelia's eyes turned red and she angrily threw the shoes. Ryan, how dare you yell at me? I'm warning you. It wasn't me who forced you to save me back then. All these years, it wasn't me begging you to be kind to me. You took care of me and paid for my education. It was all your choice. You have no right to morally blackmail me. Each word felt like an icicle piercing my heart. I couldn't breathe, yet I managed to laugh bitterly. Yes, when the human trafficker pulled out a knife. I stepped in front of her to protect her and was stabbed 3 times. When she was starving and crying, I took the money meant for my wounds to buy her food, then used a bottle of iodine to keep myself going until I healed, leaving behind an incurable illness. My emotions surge and my abdomen twists in pain. I bite my teeth, pack my shoes and hand them to her. I'm worthless, I'm just a tool for you to climb higher. How dare I ask for your gift? Let's go, from now on. We're strangers. I'll never bother you again. Since we've broken up, let's cut all ties. I'll just consider it feeding a dog that couldn't be tamed. Ryan, please don't do this. I know you don't want to let me go and it's hard for you, but I've never seen you as a tool. We're just not meant to be a couple. We can still be ordinary friends in the future. I couldn't bear to hear another word and pushed her away, but my body ached so badly that I accidentally pushed her away and fell to the ground. Writhing in pain. Is it happening again? Why does it hurt so much? Hold on, I'll go get you some medicine. She helped me onto her lap and fed me painkillers. Just like she used to, but I'd rather die in pain than touch her again. I struggled to get up. Amelia cried and pulled me back in the struggle. The wedding ring I'd hidden on my body fell out, reflecting a blinding light. She froze, wiped the tears from the corner of her eyes and looked at me with a dark expression. Ryan, is this what you find amusing? You're pretending to be pitiful to make me feel sorry for you, just to set the stage for your proposal. Do you want to use the favor you did for me to bind me to you and torment me for the rest of my life? I always thought you were a good person, but you're so selfish. With that, she shoved me hard. I rushed back to the bedroom and packed the remaining luggage as quickly as possible. As if every second spent in this house was torture. The living room was empty except for me and the scattered painkillers. I forced myself to crawl over and swallow them. Then I picked up the ring and threw it into the trash can. The doorbell rang again. When I opened the door, it was Amelia's male colleague coming to pick her up. He was dressed in a suit, looking at my disheveled appearance and mocking me. You're the worthless ex-boyfriend Amelia was talking about, I warned him. Amelia is my woman now. If you dare to bother her, I have plenty of ways to deal with you. So, Amelia was in a hurry to break up with me because she had fallen for another man. Those shoes were probably for him, too. How ridiculous. I had poured my heart into her for 10 years, only to be outshone by a man she had known for just a month. My heart was dead, with not a single flicker of emotion left. I glanced at him indifferently and turned away, but he thought I was looking down on him. He grabbed my collar and shouted, "Are you deaf? Didn't you hear me?" Humiliated at home, I immediately pushed him back. Just as I touched him, Amelia burst out of the bedroom and slapped me hard across the face. We're already broken up, Ryan. Can't you stop being so pathetic? Ethan is my savior. I won't let you lay a finger on him. Half my face burned with pain, but I didn't feel it. I stared at her blankly. Savior. I saved her from human traffickers, paid for her education, and now she calls another man her savior in front of me. Yes, thanks to Ethan's help, I was able to pass my internship at the company. If you embarrass him, I'll never speak to you again. Her frail body stood before Ethan, desperately trying to protect him. I suddenly felt pointless, pushed my luggage in front of her and said, "Fine, go with your benefactor. Don't ever come back." In the middle of the night, I woke up groggily. Feeling the emptiness in my arms, I instinctively reached for Amelia, but found nothing. It took me a while to come to my senses. We had already broken up. Amelia had been trafficked before and never felt safe. If I didn't hold her at night, she would always have nightmares. Right now, She must be in Ethan's arms. Ding, 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 the sudden ring of the phone snapped me out of my daze. I wiped away the tears that had fallen unnoticed and forced a smile. Mom, I've decided. I'll listen to you and join the company. Yes, I've come to my senses. Amelia thought she had gotten the job at the Fortune 500 company on her own merit. She thought she had passed the internship period because of Ethan's care. In reality, she only got this job because of me. Half a year ago, my parents, whom I had been separated from for years, found me. They said they had abandoned me out of poverty back then and had been searching for me ever since their business improved. They were willing to hand over the company to me as compensation for their past mistakes, but I refused without hesitation, because every time Amelia wakes up from a nightmare in the middle of the night, she always cuddles up to me and says, "Ryan, can you love me like this forever? Just me and no one else." So I refused to reunite with my parents and wouldn't let anyone take away my love for Amelia. I only asked my parents for one thing: to let Amelia join their company. Little did I know that this choice would push Amelia into another man's arms. "Son, as long as you come back, our company, the car, the house, and all our assets will be yours. Come to the company tomorrow, and your father and I will personally handle your employment." At dawn, I opened the wardrobe and searched everywhere. The best clothes I could find were a work uniform and a shirt that had been washed until it was almost white. In the corner, the old shirt Amelia had discarded was worth more than all my clothes combined. After a moment of silence, I forced a smile. "Hello, new beginning." When I arrived at the company, my parents weren't there yet. I didn't want to disturb others working, so I waited in the smoking area. By chance, I overheard Ethan and a male colleague talking. "That's impressive. The new girl at the company. You managed to get her in less than a month. Is she as young and inexperienced as she looks?" Ethan chuckled. "She may be young, but she's a used goods, having been played by her worthless ex-boyfriend. If I hadn't heard the chairman tell HR to take good care of her, I wouldn't have touched such a cheap woman." Hearing this, I felt a chill run down my spine. I asked my parents to take care of Amelia, but Ethan misunderstood that Amelia knows the chairman. He's only approaching Amelia to deceive and use her. Even though I've given up on Amelia, she's still the woman I loved for 10 years. I can't just stand by and watch her be toyed with and deceived by a scumbag. Amelia doesn't even know the chairman. If you don't want to get fired, stay away from her. Seeing me suddenly appear, Ethan's eyes flashed with panic before quickly turning into a mocking smile. "So it was you, you worthless lackey. Can't bear to let Amelia go, so you followed her to the company. Too bad Amelia won't believe a worthless loser like you. Get out of here before you embarrass yourself further." He thought I was just a delivery guy and walked straight up to insult me, slapping my face. I clenched his hand in anger, about to retaliate, but his colleagues rushed over and held me down. "You worthless dog. Don't you know where you are? My annual salary could buy your life." Ethan raised his fist and struck me hard across the face. I couldn't break free, glaring at him with hatred. His fierce gaze enraged him, and he struck me even harder. Gradually, my entire face swelled up, and saliva mixed with blood dripped uncontrollably. I was trampled under Ethan's feet, unable to lift my head in humiliation. The commotion drew people from his company over, who gathered around to watch the video and mock me. "Everyone, look at this sycophant. A lowly worker dares to come to the company and fight me over a woman. Ha ha, he does look like a dog. I never thought someone would actually embody a lapdog real life. Quick, post it online. Maybe the video will go viral and bring traffic to the company." The humiliating voices drove me to the brink of madness. I erupted with overwhelming strength, breaking free from Ethan's grip, my eyes red with fury, ready to strike back. But just as I raised my fist, Amelia rushed over, her steps hurried and her eyes filled with concern. "Are you okay? Why are you bleeding? Does it hurt?" Amelia ran over, then stepped around me and cradled Ethan's blood-stained fist. Upon realizing the blood on his hand was from hitting me, Amelia finally relaxed, turned around, and glared at me with clenched teeth. "Ryan, can't you have some dignity? We've already broken up. You couldn't let us part ways amicably. You had to act so pathetic and force me to cut all ties with you." In that moment, I felt as though I were in an ice cellar, shivering uncontrollably. My voice was hoarse and trembling. "Amelia, Ethan beat me like this." "That's enough." Before I could finish, she impatiently interrupted. "Ethan graduated from a prestigious university and is well educated. If you hadn't provoked him so much, he wouldn't have hit you. Please just leave. I'm begging you. The chairman said there's an important announcement today, and he'll be here soon. If he finds out my ex-boyfriend came to the company causing trouble, he'll definitely fire me. Ethan worked so hard to help me keep this job. Are you going to ruin it?" Every word she spoke felt like a hammer piercing my eardrums, pounding against my heart and soul. 10 years of ridiculous devotion. The remnants of my humiliation and reluctance were finally shattered. I had intended to help her see Ethan's true colors, so she wouldn't be hurt by that scumbag. But now, what happens to her from now on has nothing to do with me. You're overthinking it. I came to the company not for you, but to start my new job. I didn't plan to cause a scene. Let's just go back to work." After saying that, I tried to walk around them to wait in my parents' office, but Ethan suddenly grabbed my collar and threw me to the ground. "Are you fucking dreaming? A high school dropout like you wants to work at our company? Amelia, I think we should just call security and throw your ex-boyfriend out. If he stays here to disgust people, it won't just be you. I might get fired too." Amelia nodded firmly and immediately went to call security. I was dragged out like a dog. The intense emotions triggered my old injury, and the pain left me too weak to resist. I pleaded with Amelia, "I really came here to start work. I swear I won't bother you again. For the sake of everything I've done for you in the past, can you at least let me keep some dignity? I don't want my parents to see this and worry about me." Perhaps my agonized expression brought a glimmer of humanity back to Amelia. She softened her gaze and said, "If I let you go, will you leave quietly and not embarrass me?" Just as I was about to nod, Ethan suddenly shouted, "Quick, throw him into the bathroom and hide him. The chairman is coming." Those words sent a chill through Amelia's eyes. The glass shards near the bathroom hadn't been cleaned up yet. Amelia and the others dragged me over, and my body was instantly cut open in several places, bleeding profusely. I screamed in pain, and Amelia roughly covered my mouth. "Please, I'm begging you. Can you stop causing trouble? I've worked so hard to get here. I'd rather die than go back to that poor life." As soon as I finished speaking, the chairman walked over quickly with his wife. Before I could be dragged into the bathroom, Amelia and Ethan trembled in panic. "We're sorry, Mr. Chairman. We couldn't stop this madman from causing trouble at the company. I'll make sure to get rid of him as soon as possible so he doesn't disturb the other employees." The chairman's expression darkened, and he didn't spare Ethan and Amelia a single glance. Everyone froze in place, too scared to breathe, in the deathly silence. The chairman walked straight up to me. "Son, no matter what happened, Dad will stand up for you, son. Chairman, he's just a delivery guy. Did you mistake him for someone else?" Ethan looked at me in shock, trembling uncontrollably. My father heard his insulting words and unconsciously clenched his fists, about to explode, but was gently held back by my mother. "Did you not rest well last night? You're talking nonsense again. We don't have any children. Where did this son come from?" My mother suppressed the pain in her eyes, restrained my father, and pulled him aside, dispersing the crowd. Finally, she helped me to my feet. "Come with me to the office. Explain why you caused a scene at the company." I was covered in blood and my abdomen ached terribly. I couldn't even think about why my mother didn't recognize me. I instinctively got to my feet and followed my parents. Ethan was so scared he collapsed on the ground, pounding his chest. "I told you, this good-for-nothing couldn't possibly know the chairman." Amelia, remind him quickly. Don't let him say anything to the chairman that could damage our image in his eyes. Amelia wasn't in much better shape than Ethan, but upon hearing Ethan's command, she managed to suppress her fear, gathered her courage, and pulled on my sleeve. If you still want to be my friend, don't mention what happened between us. If Ethan and I get fired, I swear I'll hate you for the rest of my life. My clothes were soaked in blood, dripping onto the ground and leaving a trail of blood behind me. But Amelia didn't care about my injuries at all. Her mind was only on her future with Ethan, seeing the woman I had cherished for 10 years, now reduced to a puppet following Ethan's every word. My cold eyes held no emotion. Turning my gaze away, I didn't even bother to say another word. Ryan, don't blame Mom. Mom has always dreamed of being reunited with you. But some things can't be explained over the phone. During the process of building our family, your father and I offended many people, and we haven't yet settled all our debts. If our relationship is revealed, I fear they might harm you. Upon arriving at the office, Mom applied medicine to my wounds while explaining our current situation. I shook my head indifferently. It's fine, as long as you treat me like your own son. I've never sought a life of wealth and privilege. All I want is a home. In the past, Amelia was a member of this family. Now I've finally come to my senses and realized I was just a tool for her to climb the social ladder. Don't worry, son. Your mother and father have sacrificed our bodies and can no longer have children. From now on, you are our only son. We will never let you suffer the slightest injustice. As for Amelia and Ethan, who humiliated you, your mother has plenty of ways to deal with them. But now is not the time for revenge, lest our enemies discover our connection. Start as an entry-level employee first. Get familiar with the company's operations. At the latest, within 6 months, your parents will eliminate all threats and reveal our relationship. That day, I started working at the company as a member of the business department. Amelia's department was right next door, seeing that I had actually stayed. She was anxious all day. As soon as she finished work, she stopped me downstairs and said, "Ryan, quit your job. I've heard everything. The chairman felt guilty after seeing you injured at the company. So he gave you an internship as a favor. But with your abilities, you'll never pass. It's better to deliver more food orders and earn some extra money than stay here and humiliate yourself." She looked so serious, as if she were genuinely concerned for me. But in reality, she was ashamed of me and feared that if I, her ex-boyfriend, stayed, it would make her look bad in front of the company. As compensation, we can give you several $1,000s as a breakup fee for Amelia dumping you. A good for nothing. Ethan held Amelia's hand, his expression filled with contempt. "Take the money and get out. Don't ever show your face here again. Otherwise, if I can hit you once, I can hit you again, and everyone in the company will help me take you down." His threatening words made me laugh. "Fine, I'll wait for you to come after me. And Amelia, we've already broken up. We have nothing to do with each other anymore. What I do is none of your business." I didn't bother wasting any emotions on them. After saying that, I walked away in big strides, went home to pack my bags, and prepared to move into the villa my parents had arranged for me. I don't know if it's because I'm injured or because I'm alone, but this house I've lived in for 5 years seems much bigger now. I packed for a long time but couldn't finish. Every time I entered a room, I would pause for a moment, and scenes of Amelia's life there would uncontrollably flash before my eyes. It was all black and white, haunting me. "Ryan, I can't take it anymore. The bathroom smells every time I flush the toilet. When are we finally going to move into the new house, though? Your feet are all blistered again. You've worked so hard, dear. Once I save up enough for my senior year tuition, I'll give you a few days off to rest, Ryan. Ryan, why won't you hold me tighter? I'm so scared. I had another nightmare. I dreamed that so many human traffickers were coming to catch me." Her voice echoes endlessly in my mind. I thought I had let go, but how could 10 years of love be severed so easily? I even had a delusion, hearing Amelia knocking on the door. "Ryan, are you there? Let's talk it out. With a bitter smile, I shook my head, trying to push her memories and voice out of my mind, but the knocking grew louder. Just as I was about to open the door to see if she was really there, I heard the sound of a key turning in the lock. Amelia pushed the door open angrily and walked in. "You were home. Why did you ignore me on purpose? I've had enough of you. Why can't a grown man just end things peacefully? Why do you have to act like this?" Her harsh words left me speechless for a moment. Amelia thought my coldness and silence were because I couldn't let go of her, but she was overthinking it. No matter how painful it is to let go, I'll grit my teeth and endure it. You misunderstood me. I didn't expect you to actually come, so I opened the door a bit late. And the fact that I stayed at the office has nothing to do with you and won't disturb your work with Ethan. Leave the house key here and leave quickly. It's too late. Don't risk encountering danger on the road. Before I could finish, Amelia grabbed the keys and threw them at my face with force, looking like she couldn't take it anymore. "Do you really think I'd believe your lies?" Ethan may speak harshly, but he's right. Compared to us, you're just a high school dropout. You're not qualified for the job at the company. Yet you stay there begging. What else could your motive be besides wanting to cling to me? As her words fell, I clenched my fists uncontrollably, glaring at Amelia with anger for the first time in my life. Anyone can call me a loser, but not you. Because of her, I gave up my chance to go to school, gave up learning other skills, and spent all my time earning money for her. I don't expect her to be grateful, and I don't expect her to repay me. But why won't she even give me the dignity of a proper goodbye? Must you crush my already broken heart once more? Ryan, calm down. I don't look down on you. I know how much you love me and that you're a good person, but we're just not compatible. I came here to help you face reality. Take this money, Ethan, and I saved up for you, and leave the company. If you cause any more trouble, I might lose my job. Amelia handed me the envelope with the money, her eyes half pleading, half pitying. I didn't take it, staring blankly at her. What was this? A breakup fee or compensation for the past 10 years I'd invested in her? Amelia turned away, unable to meet my gaze, because she knew that the money I'd spent on her over the past 10 years was far more than this, and the injuries I'd suffered, the emotions and time I'd invested, those weren't something that could be measured by numbers. I realized she hadn't forgotten these favors. She simply didn't care. After getting used to my sacrifices, everything about me had become cheap and taken for granted. Perhaps even giving my life for her wouldn't compare to Ethan's few sweet words whispered in her ear. Given that he graduated from a prestigious university, "All right, go back. I don't want this money. Keep it for yourself so that when Ethan gets tired of you and dumps you, you'll at least have a place to live." I know exactly what kind of person Ethan is. I tried to warn Amelia out of kindness, but all I got was a slap in the face. "She's beyond redemption. Ethan was kind enough to send me here to give you the money, but you slander him and try to drive a wedge between us. Ryan, I used to have a little bit of feelings for you, but now they're all gone. Whether you leave the company or not, I won't have anything to do with you anymore. When I climb to a high position and make a lot of money in the future, don't come begging me for favors." After saying that, she glared at me coldly and turned to leave. I remained silent for a long time before murmuring to her back, "No, just don't come bother me anymore." After gathering my thoughts, I continued packing my luggage. Just as I was almost finished, my mother's call interrupted me. She warned me to be careful and avoid going out at night. Our biggest enemy had discovered that they had abandoned a child in the past, and they might resort to desperate measures against me. Moreover, that enemy had planted spies in the company, and he knew everything that had happened in recent days. My mother feared he might have guessed my identity. But what worried me most was Amelia. Ethan knew about my father's care for Amelia, and the other colleagues naturally knew as well. Would they misunderstand and suspect that Amelia was the child my parents had lost years ago? Regardless of whether Amelia and I have broken up or not, I can't let her get involved in this danger. I hurriedly called her to warn her. but she hung up after 2 rings. And when I called again, her phone was turned off. I had no choice but to run downstairs to look for her. I saw her huddled in the increasingly heavy autumn rain, trying to hail a taxi. "Don't take a taxi this late at night. Let Ethan come pick you up." Hearing my voice, Amelia frowned instinctively. Ethan should be asleep by now. How could I bear to trouble him? "Don't act like you care about me. No matter what you do, I won't be moved. I'll just think you're despicable and hate you even more." So this is the difference between love and not love. One winter, it snowed heavily, and I was exhausted with a fever of 40 degrees. Amelia threw a tantrum and made me ride my bike to pick her up. When it was Ethan's turn, she wouldn't even let him sleep. I sighed and explained the reason, telling her it was dangerous. Amelia didn't believe me and glared at me impatiently. "Even if you're making up a story, make it believable. The chairman is so powerful. How could he have such an annoying sycophant like you?" She thought I was trying to win her back by fabricating a wealthy background. The cold autumn rain grew heavier, and my patience was completely exhausted. "Do whatever you want. I hope something happens to you this time, and someone will risk their life to save you." Amelia insisted on taking a taxi herself, and I couldn't stop her, so I went back to sleep, thinking that it was the last night I would spend in the old house. I slept unusually soundly, no longer worried about Amelia having nightmares and waking up in the middle of the night. The next morning, I was awakened by urgent knocking on the door. It was Ethan. After I opened the door, he barged in with others, searching everywhere and turning the house upside down. "Where did you hide Amelia? She came to find you last night and didn't return. I warned you to bring her out." Hearing this, I had a bad feeling. Amelia hadn't returned. "Can I call her?" Ethan clenched his teeth and grabbed my collar. "You dog, you're still acting. If her phone was reachable, would I come looking for you? Hurry up and bring her out. If Amelia doesn't show up before work, I'll break your legs first, then send you to the police station." Under Ethan's influence, the colleagues he brought with him surrounded me, looking ready to attack at any moment. "Don't waste your time. Instead of wasting your energy on Amelia, you should take a look at yourself. How can you compare to Ethan? Just hit him. Let's see if his mouth is harder than his bones." Before I could explain, they grabbed me and started pushing me around. Just then, my phone rang. Ethan thought it was one of my accomplices calling to hide Amelia, so he quickly grabbed it and answered. On the other end was my father's urgent voice. "Son, are you okay?" Ethan's expression changed instantly. "Chairman." My father paused, then asked, "Ethan, why are you answering the phone? Where's my son?" I quickly snatched the phone back. "Dad, I'm fine, but Amelia is missing." I soon realized that my parents' enemies had mistaken Amelia for me and kidnapped her. Their threatening calls had already reached my parents, and Amelia was in grave danger. "You're really the chairman's son, Ryan. I was blind. Don't hold this against me. I'll break up with Amelia and give her to you. I owe a lot of loans outside. If I lose this job, I'm finished." Ethan, upon learning my true identity, was so scared he couldn't stop trembling, his pleas for mercy tinged with tears. I didn't bother arguing with him. I took out the smartwatch I had paired with Amelia's phone, confirmed her location, and said, "Stop crying. Everything else can wait. Saving her is the priority. I'm calling the police now. You drive me to the scene." After Amelia got into university, she had to live on campus during military training, and I couldn't be with her every day. She felt insecure, so I gave her a watch that could track our locations, and she finally felt at ease. I never thought it would come in handy at a critical moment. "Don't come any closer. If anyone dares to take another step, I'll kill her." When we arrived at the kidnapping scene, the police were already there. Amelia's parents' enemies realized they had kidnapped the wrong person, and their despair was on the verge of boiling over. They could kill Amelia at any moment. Amelia was terrified and broke down crying, "Ethan, save me. I don't want to die. I haven't married you yet, and I haven't given you any children." In that moment, the first person she thought of was Ethan. but Ethan already knew I was the chairman's son, and Amelia had no connection to the chairman at all. He merely glanced at her dismissively and didn't bother to acknowledge her further. Ryan, the CEO, bowed politely beside me. Amelia is looking down on you with her dog eyes. She doesn't respect you. I suggest you leave her and go. Whether she lives or dies has nothing to do with you. Your own safety is more important. Hearing these cold, heartless words, I instinctively wanted to explode with anger. But then I suddenly found it amusing. Amelia, did you hear that? You abandoned the man I saw as my new hope, and you don't care whether I live or die. Amelia froze. The kidnapper's knife was still at her throat, but she didn't seem afraid anymore. She didn't cry or struggle, just stared at Ethan with disbelief and adoration in her eyes. Ethan, didn't you say you loved me so much and were willing to risk your life for me? You said you could be like Ryan, holding me in the palm of your hand and treating me well for the rest of your life. Ethan was amused by her innocent words. I was just teasing you. Ryan genuinely cared for you for 10 years, nurturing you into a capable person, yet you abandoned him without a second thought. Do you think a woman like you deserves a man's true love? As Ethan's words fell, the scene suddenly turned absurd. Amelia seemed to forget she was being held hostage. Pushing the kidnapper aside and rushing toward Ethan, the out-of-control kidnapper didn't react in time, losing his hostage and being arrested by the police. Are you okay, miss? The paramedics rushed over to check Amelia's condition but were pushed away by her. Her eyes were fixed on Ethan, and she rushed toward him without hesitation. Before she could speak, Ethan slapped her across the face in front of everyone and said, "I was just playing with you. Don't bother me anymore. Ryan, the man you abandoned, is the long-lost son of the chairman. I was blind to believe your lies and almost mistook Ryan for a delivery guy." Amelia didn't say another word. She understood everything. She realized that Ethan was truly a scoundrel who didn't love her at all, and that she had pushed away the person who loved her with all his heart. Dad. Mom, let's go home. Since Amelia was safe, I didn't bother with the rest. I took my parents back to the company. Ethan, who was eagerly chasing after us, was stopped by the bodyguards my parents had brought along. They kicked him away, and he lay on the ground like a sick dog, begging me to forgive him and not fire him. I only turned back briefly and left him with one sentence: go back to the countryside. Not only our company, but no company in this city will ever hire you again. I didn't resort to more cruel methods for revenge. I was already merciful enough. But in the days that followed, Ethan dared to show up at the company building again, begging me to spare him a chance to live, saying that if he couldn't repay his loans, his life would be ruined. It wasn't until a week later that he finally disappeared. He didn't give up. He was killed by Amelia. When I saw Amelia again, her hands were covered in blood, trembling uncontrollably. Her eyes were filled with pain, regret, and pleading as she took steps toward me, wanting to cuddle into my arms. Ryan, I was wrong. It's all my fault for trusting Ethan and being deceived by him. But he's already dead. He almost made me lose you. Now he'll never interfere with us again. Aren't you going to propose to me? I agreed. From now on, I will only love you and never leave you. She said a lot more, but I knew she didn't love me at all. She had realized that only I was willing to be good to her unconditionally, and she couldn't find anyone else as foolish as me. She regretted it. She didn't want to marry me. She wanted my parents' assets and the sense of security I provided by risking my life to protect her. But I'm sorry. Amelia, I told you before, from now on we have no connection whatsoever. After saying that, I dialed the police. The person I once risked my life to save was now being sent to prison by my own hands.